I noticed these the other day, these beautiful foxgloves. When I was growing up near Bristol, we'd go around these fields where there would be hundreds, not thousands, of these foxgloves. Bright colours, the whites, the pinks, and around them often a lot of nature, a lot of butterflies and bumblebees, and if you're not careful, a lot of nettles in the ground too. One of the interesting things about foxgloves is often they won't be there. If you look around most of the area, there aren't any foxgloves. And for most of the year, they're not there either. But then suddenly they'll shoot up, growing quite high. They're several feet high here, and they can go even higher. And then this burst of colour comes out. And suddenly a field that could have seemed empty, filled with colour, filled with brightness, filled with life. Now there are other plants, sometimes that take a lot longer to grow. From that sort of seed being planted, being nurtured by life and weather, to suddenly having massive root structures and growing higher and faster. Some other things grow quicker. In a few minutes and hours and days, you'll start to see the growth and the sprouting. Now for us as humans, for myself, for you, how does that work? How does that apply? And how can we think differently about what we're doing in our own life? I know today, as I'm speaking on camera here, behind the camera, talking to you, skills that I've spent decades learning, in fact, over 3 decades learning, 4 decades learning, from the days of going to poetry reading lessons to learn how to speak and share in English, to learning other languages, to being inspired by incredible performers, sometimes in official settings of performance and sometimes just as you walk around life, noticing people and how they are. Some of those people have passed away hundreds of years ago, but we're still inspired by their creativity, and some almost new on the scene, not yet discovered. The wind's blowing, life is continuing, and these cycles and seasons are there. And you'll notice the things that shine out for you. The truth of it is there's almost infinite knowledge to acquire. And the access to that is always to be present, to be in that moment of seeing what's there and starting to inquire, making connections. Learning how to learn, learning how to look anew, learning how to have that beginner's mind. Now that can be easily said, to step back from what you know, to think new, I think refresh about what's going on. Once a year at Fresh Flow, the last few years now, my annual event, I've been doing that. And it's challenging to let go of all the blocks and stops and really create that space. Unless there's an environment and a community around you encouraging to do that. But let's go back to the foxgloves. They're standing there tall, and this is May. They're shining, and yet seemingly forgotten. How did they end up being here? Where will they go to next? We don't know all that. But we can enjoy the moment, and we can see what's there, and if we choose to, share it with somebody else, as I'm doing today. And I've noticed these growing up over the last few weeks. If you look back on these videos from the 99-day challenge, you'll see that they've been there, growing and developing, as other things in this garden have been doing, as we ourselves, I think, also are developing through this interesting time of life in the world. And I am present to those people that haven't made it to this point on the journey, and I'm present to those people that have helped us get to this point on the journey. So if you're watching this, either now or in the future, I want to thank you. Well, it is now when you're watching the video, right? I want to thank you for doing that and playing your part in helping us all become what we're becoming, which I have a sense might be more than we ever expected. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. And by the way, this was Simon, in case you'd forgotten or it's your first time watching. Bye for now.